Well, to round out our night here, let's talk Spider-Man No Way Home because there has been a lot of buzz surrounding the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer or lack thereof. And it's kind of become a joke at this point because it's like it's almost like, well, where is it? It's like every possible point that Disney and Sony could have released the trailer, they haven't. Now, if you've seen the latest trailer for Venom, Let There Be Carnage, you've probably noticed that at the end of the trailer, the September 15th release date was not shown, and it was replaced with exclusively in movie theaters this fall. Now, could this be nothing? Absolutely. But I think a lot of fans and a lot of people are beginning to think that this points to a delay for not only Venom, Let There Be Carnage, but for Spider Man No Way Home as well. So let's talk
So what
about
you're
it.
trying to say is that the COVID pandemic gonna fuck up the movie theaters again?
I know, man. I don't know. I hope not. Take a look at Sony's upcoming release slate. Venom comes out September 15th. No
Mm-hmm.
Way Home comes out December 17th. Morbius comes out January 21st of next year. These are all major Marvel releases that are heavily rumored to tie into one another. And you also have to remember that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, even though that's not a Sony film, it's a Disney film, even though they're kind of sharing. I don't know. That's a huge part of this whole multiverse storyline, too. And that's going to tie in. If you push. I mean, Spider Man No Way Home is already at the end of this year. If you push Spider Man No Way Home, you're going to have to push Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And coming off of WandaVision and Loki, plus What If, they may not want to do that because it all kind of
Exactly.
ties into each other right now. And they're not going to push, if they did push Spider Man No Way Home, I don't think they're going to push it to January or February because the COVID situation may not be better by then. That's not far enough. Um, and I mean, Sony needs these next three Marvel movies to make some serious bank because they're a smaller studio. And again, in the post-COVID world that we're living in right now, I say post-COVID, but the COVID world we're living in right now, they need that money, 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 money. And I mean, let's face it, like the No Way Home is being split with Disney and Marvel. So they need it to make a lot of money because Sony needs to get a really big cut of that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I have the box office numbers here. So Spider-Man Homecoming made $880.2 million dollars at the global box office. Pretty good. Venom, the first Venom, made 856 million dollars. Spider-Man Far From Home made $1.1 billion dollars globally, which is extraordinarily well. And No Way Home has to be a $1 billion movie in order for this to be successful, financially successful for Disney and Sony. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think it's got to at least hit that billion mark, or else it's not going to be financially successful for them. Now, according to the Direct, which is a really big Marvel news outlet, within the last week, it's been heavily rumored that No Way Home is going. They're undergoing reshoots in L.A. or Atlanta or even both. Kirsten Dunst from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy and Deborah Ann Wall from the Daredevil series, they were both spotted at a Sony studio in L.A. Andrew Garfield is supposedly in L.A. A lot of things that kind of point to maybe they're doing some Spider-Man No Way Home reshoots, and of course it could be coincidence, but I mean, again, we've talked about that ad nauseum on the show. I mean, like it's come on, the cat's out of the bag at this point. I mean, if we're being completely
Well,
honest,
I'm
it
more.
really is.
I'm yeah. The one I'm more surprised is the
Deborah
one
Ann
with
Wall.
huh?
Deborah Ann Wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with her being with Kirsten Dunst
Hmm.
because they're basically that would basically confirm that Charlie Cox, Daredevil, and that whole TV series is going to be canon,
For
which
sure.
makes sense because Wilson Fisk is going to be in Hawkeye. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty much that's the confirmation I want to hear. I want to hear that
Right.
those TV shows are coming because those are some pretty solid TV shows. Everything but like I don't know, Iron Fist, Luke Cage was good,
Yeah.
but everything else, all
The
those other TV
Punisher,
shows,
man.
The Punisher, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, all three of those were just solid TV shows, man, and
Absolutely.
they deserve to be in the MCU 100%. They earned
Yeah.
their seat.
And the other thing is, there was a set photo of Tom Holland and Benedict Cumberbatch kind of looking at each other. Spider Man's up on something, and Doctor Strange is looking at him from below. Miguel, do you think it's a little late for them to be doing reshoots? I mean, we're 4 months away from where it's scheduled to release. A little under 4 months away from
Yeah, a
where
little
Spider Man
bit.
Home. I think it's getting a little late for it. Um,
I
and
think
you
it's
also
because they're anticipating the COVID shutdown. I'm not gonna lie.
probably I think I agree with that because you have to think about the COVID cases too. We're in a spike right now. The Delta variant is on the rise. Please, for the love of everything holy, go get vaccinated. Uh, and we very well may be moving into the second wave of the pandemic, which again, like you just said, that's going to shut everything down. That's going to shut productions down. And that's kind of going to throw a wrench in everybody's fall and winter release slates. And I mean, obviously, we hope not, but it's something that these studios and their distributors are really having to think
Always
about.
are
Yeah,
always on talk.
it's really starting to weigh, I think. Now, the one little gleam of hope for Marvel fans and for Spider-Man fans is CinemaCon, which CinemaCon is scheduled for August 23rd, a little under 3 weeks away. And Sony has a 3 hour presentation block where they'll be showcasing new releases, and there's a mandate. Uh, it's I think the title of their block is like Back at the Movies or something like that. There's a mandate where all cellular devices they have to be turned off during the showcase, which I get that's an NDA kind of thing. Um, and there's a good chance that the attendees of that will see a teaser or footage from the movie, but that's not guaranteed. Um, Hopefully, I think in a perfect world, people are guessing that maybe they will drop the Spider-Man. They'll show the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer in CinemaCon for the people that are in CinemaCon, and then maybe that night or something they'll finally drop the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer because then we'll be at the end of August. I think it's already getting kind of late for a trailer for a movie. I mean, if they dropped it on August 23rd at CinemaCon in that Sony block, um, you would have you'd have 3 months basically to market your movie. And again, it's going to make a lot of money because of the hype surrounding it, because of Toby and Andrew coming back. It's going to make a lot of money, but that's still only 3 months to market it. You know what I mean?
I mean, the movie's going to speak for itself.
It
There's
will.
really isn't much you need to invest in marketing. Matter of fact, if you just give us, like you said, people are wanting so much about this movie that movie theaters are starting to bring in fan made posters.
Yeah.
Like you could honestly just bring out the Spider-Man No Way Home and it would still get enough buzz.
I honestly think they're waiting on COVID. I think that's the biggest. They're waiting to see what happens, especially through August. I think if we get to the end of August and COVID is really starting to spike again and stuff is starting to shut down, I think the movie's going to get pushed. I don't think we're going to
Mm-hmm.
get a trailer. I don't think we're going to get anything. Now,
Yeah.
if they do like a Blumhouse with Halloween Kills, like when Halloween Kills got, this is just the first thing that's on my mind. Um, when that got delayed on July 9th of last year, they dropped like a 35, 40-second teaser when that got delayed. It's like, hey, this might help soften the blow a little bit. Here you go. If they do have to push Spider-Man No Way Home, I don't think they'd push it a year. I think they'd probably push it to sometime June or July, so it would be a summer blockbuster type event. I think that's what they would do. I don't think they would push it to next December because that's just too far away from WandaVision and Loki and What If. It just is.
Exactly.
It's way too far away from those. Um, especially since it ties in, and that would mean Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness wouldn't be coming out until like March, probably February or March of 2023. Like, I just don't think they want to. I don't think that's a timetable that they want, because we would have no Marvel stuff for all of that time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It wouldn't make any sense. So I would guess if they're gonna push it, they're gonna push it to June or July of next year, and then maybe even Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness would maybe take a December slot, and then push all of their other releases back a year from where they're at.
Golly, man, this
I
COVID
know.
thing's it's fucking up the whole MCU timeline.
No, it really is. It's starting to get it's starting to make a lot of this stuff really, really screwy. So I don't know. Hopefully we get a trailer on August 23rd. Hopefully COVID doesn't screw everything up and have to push this stuff, but I mean, you never know. I mean, it's a very fluid situation, and it's a very it's a changing situation, and it's going to keep changing throughout the next couple of weeks and months. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to keep hanging on. Theaters will have to keep putting those fan-made No Way Home posters in their little cartridges, and we'll just have to see, man. Because I mean, let's be honest, it has been quiet about Spider-Man No Way Home. Quiet. There has been nothing. Literally
radio silence.
Nothing. I mean, it's gotten to the point where people are predicting that they're not even going to release a trailer. They're just going to drop the movie when it drops. They're not going to do that because
I just said, did Kevin Feige say that?
I think he said it jokingly, but I think it's a rumor. But they're not going to do that. That's too much of a gamble, especially like we talked about earlier. This needs to be $1 billion movie. It needs to hit that $1 billion benchmark, and they're going to market it because they're going to do everything in their power to guarantee that it hits that $1 million benchmark. So I don't think that they would not release a trailer and take that gamble. I think it's too much of a gamble, especially in the world we're living in, and especially since they've made it perfectly clear that this will not be on Disney Plus. This is an exclusively in movie theaters thing, just like what we saw at the end of the Venom trailer. But guys, please leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think the deal is with the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. Do you think that delays are possible? I think it is a possibility. I think we're just going to have to watch the COVID situation and see where we go with that.